The time is always right to do what is right. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Let no man pull you so low as to hate him. True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right. There comes a time when people get tired of being pushed out of the glittering sunlight of life's July and left standing amid the piercing chill of an alpine November. Man must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such a method is love. There can be no deep disappointment where there is not deep love. A lie cannot live. Shallow understanding from people of good will is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. There is nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in the length of life, devoid of breadth. If we are to have peace on earth, our loyalties must become ecumenical rather than sectional. Our loyalties must transcend our race, our tribe, our class, and our nation. And this means we must develop a world perspective. Violence is immoral because it thrives on hatred rather than love. Violence ends up defeating itself. It creates bitterness in the survivors and brutality in the destroyers. The beauty of genuine brotherhood and peace is more precious than diamonds or silver or gold. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. For when people get caught up with that which is right, and they are willing to sacrifice for it, there is no stopping point short of victory. We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. We shall match your capacity to inflict suffering by our capacity to endure suffering. We will meet your physical force with soul force. Do to us what you will, and we shall continue to love you. In some not too distant tomorrow, the radiant stars of love and brotherhood will shine over our great nation with all their scintillating beauty. I am not interested in power for power's sake, but I'm interested in power that is moral, that is right, and that is good. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. The hottest place in hell is reserved for those who remain neutral in times of great moral conflict. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor, it must be demanded by the oppressed. A right delayed is a right denied. Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. I want to be the white man's brother, not his brother-in-law. You can kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. We must walk on in the days ahead with an audacious faith in the future. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love. Hate is just as injurious to the hater as it is to the hated. Like an unchecked cancer, hate corrodes the personality and eats away its vital unity. Many of our inner conflicts are rooted in hate. This is why psychiatrists say, love or perish. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Man must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such a method is love. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear. Back. The moral arc of the universe bends at the elbow of justice. True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. Ultimately, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. The quality, not the longevity of one's life is what is important. That's love, you see. It is redemptive, and this is why Jesus says love. There's something about love that builds up and is creative. There is something about hate that tears down and is destructive. So love your enemies. Rarely do we find men who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There is an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than having to think. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. Nonviolence is absolute commitment to the way of love. Love is not emotional bash. It is not empty sentimentalism. It is the active outpouring of one's whole being into the being of another. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be a sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. The time is always right to do what is right. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Goal. Let no man pull you so low as to hate him. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right. Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Never succumb to the temptation of bitterness. Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a permanent attitude. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? We must use time creatively, in the knowledge that the time is always ripe to do right. Whatever affects one directly, affects all indirectly. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. One day, we will learn that the heart can never be totally right when the head is totally wrong. You know, a lot of people don't love themselves, and they go through life with deep and haunting emotional conflicts. So, the length of life means that you must love yourself, and you know what loving yourself also means? It means that you've got to accept yourself. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into friend. Love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. He who loves is a participant in the being of God. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. We will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel, comment,